somewhere beneath the towering trees of an Oregon national forest, there may be an underground airbase that officially does not exist. Not on modern maps, not in public military archives. And yet, deep inside the wilderness, researchers have discovered something impossible. Massive blast doors hidden in rock formations, industrial ventilation shafts disguised as small wooden cabins, and lidar scans revealing perfect geometric structures buried beneath the forest floor. Shapes too precise to be natural. Was this a Cold War installation designed to hide experimental aircraft from Soviet satellites? Or something even more secret? Something the government tried to erase from history? Tonight, we investigate one of the strangest legends in American military history, the mystery of Project Fir Shade. Part 1. The Ghost Under the Canopy. Visual: endless Oregon forest. The forests of Oregon are among the densest wilderness areas in North America. Towering Douglas fir trees rise hundreds of feet into the air, creating a canopy so thick that sunlight often struggles to reach the forest floor. From above, the landscape looks like an endless green ocean. Miles and miles of untouched wilderness. For decades, hikers, hunters, and forestry workers believed this region had remained largely unchanged for centuries. A place where nature ruled, undisturbed by human construction. But new technology has begun to reveal a different story. Using airborne laser scanning, researchers have started mapping forests with a tool known as lidar. By firing thousands of laser pulses toward the ground and digitally removing the vegetation layer, lidar allows scientists to see what lies hidden beneath the trees. And when researchers scanned sections of the Oregon wilderness, something strange appeared. Beneath the thick forest canopy were patterns that should not exist in nature. Perfectly straight lines cutting through the soil, sharp angles forming enormous geometric shapes, massive rectangular voids buried underground, structures too large and too precise to be natural rock formations. Some of these shapes stretch hundreds of feet across. Others appear connected by long underground corridors. To the untrained eye, they might look like nothing more than unusual geological formations. But to engineers and archaeologists, they resemble something else entirely. Infrastructure. Hidden infrastructure. Local legends have a name for it. They call it Project Fir Shade. According to the story, this forest once concealed a top-secret Cold War military installation, an underground facility built to hide experimental aircraft from reconnaissance satellites orbiting high above the Earth. If the rumors are true, fighter jets may once have been stored beneath these trees, waiting to launch from a hidden runway before disappearing underground again. But when researchers began searching through military archives for confirmation, they encountered a strange problem. There were no official records, no engineering plans, no construction permits, no declassified documents. According to every public archive that exists, Project Fir Shade was never built. And yet, something is clearly buried beneath the forest floor, something enormous, something engineered. And whatever it is, it was hidden well enough to remain invisible for more than half a century. Several miles deeper into the forest, the terrain begins to change. The dense vegetation slowly gives way to an unusual rock formation rising from the forest floor. At first glance, it appears completely natural, but a closer inspection reveals something strange. The stone surface does not match the surrounding geology. Its edges are too straight, its surface too smooth, and hidden behind layers of moss and creeping vines. Investigators discovered something extraordinary. A massive steel structure embedded into reinforced concrete. A blast door, nearly 30 feet wide. Its metal surface is deeply corroded, but the hinges remain unmistakable, each one thicker than a human arm. This is not the entrance to a mine. It is the kind of door designed to withstand catastrophic pressure waves, the type used in nuclear bunkers during the height of the Cold War. Which raises an unsettling question. If this entrance was meant to protect something, what exactly lies on the other side? Imagine building a secret underground hangar, not in some remote desert, but right under the feet of unsuspecting hikers in a national forest. This isn't a movie plot. It's a real-world engineering mystery from the 1960s. During the Cold War, the fear of a nuclear attack pushed military architects to their absolute limits. They had to design structures that could withstand the unthinkable. We're talking about underground bunkers with reinforced concrete walls over 3 meters thick, engineered to absorb seismic shockwaves and even the immense pressure from a nearby nuclear blast. These were fortresses buried deep within the earth, designed for survival. But building a simple bunker is one thing. Constructing a hangar large enough to house powerful military aircraft is a completely different beast. Think about it. Jet engines aren't just loud. They generate tremendous heat and spew out enormous volumes of toxic exhaust gases. In an enclosed, subterranean space, that's a recipe for disaster. Without a massive, incredibly powerful ventilation system, any underground facility like this would become a death trap in minutes. The heat would become unbearable, and the air would quickly turn unbreathable. So, how could they possibly solve this problem in secret? This is where the story takes a truly strange turn, leading investigators to a series of baffling discoveries scattered throughout the forest. Dotted across the landscape are small, unassuming wooden buildings. At first glance, they look exactly like rustic ranger stations or simple forest service cabins. They have weathered wood siding, simple windows, and a basic pitched roof. They're designed to blend in, to be completely overlooked. You could walk right past one and think nothing of it, just another part of the park's infrastructure. But when researchers and urban explorers finally gained access to the interiors of these seemingly innocent structures, they found something that made absolutely no sense for a humble ranger station. Inside, instead of desks, maps, or park equipment, they found colossal industrial ventilation shafts. We're talking about massive steel ducts, wide enough for a person to crawl through, plunging straight down into the earth. These systems were far too large, far too complex, and far too powerful for a simple wooden cabin. They were industrial grade, built for a purpose that had nothing to do with managing a forest. The size and scale of these ventilation systems, however, were a perfect match for one thing: the exact requirements needed to vent the heat and exhaust from a squadron of jet aircraft operating in a massive underground hangar. The pieces of the puzzle started to click into place. These weren't ranger stations at all. They were decoys, cleverly disguised components of a much larger hidden machine. Each cabin was a smokescreen, a benign-looking cover for a vital artery of a secret subterranean complex. So, if these buildings are not what they appear to be, it forces us to ask a much bigger question. What else is hidden beneath the serene surface of this national forest? The existence of these ventilation shafts is undeniable proof of a massive construction project, one that was successfully kept secret for decades. It suggests a hidden world lurking just below the forest floor, a world of concrete, steel, and Cold War secrets. The disguised cabins are the only visible clues, the tips of an iceberg pointing to something vast and clandestine buried deep in the ground. What were they really hiding down there? And what other secrets does this forest still hold? We may never know the full story, but the evidence left behind paints a chilling picture of just how far military planners were willing to go. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoy unraveling mysteries like this, make sure to subscribe for more. Beneath the desolate expanse of the desert, hidden from prying eyes and satellite surveillance, lies one of the modern world's greatest engineering marvels, a secret underground aircraft facility. For decades, whispers and fragmented stories have circulated about this place. A subterranean hangar where the future of aviation is forged in secrecy. Today, we peel back the layers of mystery to reveal what lies beneath the sun-scorched earth. The story begins in the heat of the Cold War. As tensions rose, the need for secure locations to develop and house next-generation technology became paramount. Surface bases were vulnerable to spying and attack. The solution? Go underground. Planners and engineers embarked on a project of unimaginable scale, carving out a city-sized complex deep within the bedrock. This wasn't just a bunker. It was a fully functional airbase, complete with hangars, workshops, research labs, and living quarters for thousands of personnel. Construction was a monumental challenge. Giant tunnel boring machines, far more advanced than anything publicly known at the time, worked around the clock. Millions of tons of rock and soil were excavated and discreetly transported away, often under the cover of darkness, to avoid raising suspicion. The main hangar bay itself is said to be large enough to hold several strategic bombers, with a ceiling soaring hundreds of feet high, reinforced with steel and advanced composites. The entire facility is a self-sustaining ecosystem, capable of operating completely isolated from the outside world for months on end. It has its own power generation, water purification systems, and air filtration capable of withstanding even a nuclear, biological, or chemical event. So, what kind of aircraft are developed here? This is where fact blurs into legend. This facility is the birthplace of black projects, highly classified military aircraft and aerospace technologies. Think stealth bombers that can slip through enemy radar undetected, or hypersonic reconnaissance drones that can circle the globe in a matter of hours. Rumors speak of exotic propulsion systems, advanced materials that can change their shape, and even revolutionary energy sources. The innovations born in this underground world are decades ahead of what we see in the public domain. These aren't just planes, they are technological leaps that redefine the boundaries of flight. Access to this subterranean world is, as you can imagine, extremely limited. The entrances are masterfully concealed. What might look like an abandoned mine shaft or a simple desert shed could be the gateway to a high-tech elevator, capable of descending thousands of feet in minutes. Security is multi-layered, employing everything from biometric scanners and armed guards to advanced AI-powered surveillance systems that monitor every inch of the perimeter, both above and below ground. The airspace above is a strict no-fly zone, and any unauthorized approach is met with a swift response. The personnel who work here are the best in their fields. Brilliant scientists, engineers, and pilots who have dedicated their lives to pushing the limits of what's possible. They live in a world of profound secrecy, often unable to share the nature of their work, even with their closest family members. Their dedication is the engine that drives the innovation hidden deep within the earth. This underground facility is more than just a secret base. It's a symbol of human ingenuity and our relentless pursuit of technological supremacy. While its existence may never be officially acknowledged, the legacy of this hidden world flies high above us, shaping the skies of tomorrow. Thanks for watching. And if you found this journey into the unknown as fascinating as I did, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the world's best-kept secrets. The deeper researchers looked into the legend of Project Fir Shade, the stranger the story became. Because the forest itself wasn't the only thing hiding secrets. The maps were too. When investigators compared forestry maps from the 1970s with modern satellite navigation systems, they noticed something unusual. Several service roads once visible on older maps had simply vanished, not abandoned, not overgrown, erased. Entire routes that once cut deep into the wilderness were missing from modern digital records, almost as if someone had deliberately removed them. Local residents remember those roads clearly. Some recall seeing military trucks traveling through the forest late at night during the Cold War. Others describe strange events that still remain unexplained. Low rumbling sounds beneath the ground, sudden vibrations that felt like distant earthquakes, and sometimes sonic booms echoing through the valley long after midnight. Official reports insist none of these events ever occurred, but the people who lived there remember them differently. Out in the vast, rugged wilderness of eastern Oregon, a massive rewilding project is underway. On the surface, it's a noble effort to restore nature. But when you look closer, from space, a different story begins to emerge. Satellite images have captured something strange. Enormous, systematic earth-moving operations happening in secret. What looks like a simple conservation effort might be a cover for something much, much bigger. We're talking about evidence that points towards the construction of a massive underground complex, hidden beneath the returning forest. What is being built out there in the Oregon high desert, and why is it being kept so quiet? We are digging deep into the satellite data and talking to insiders to uncover the truth behind this environmental enigma. What we've found will change how you see the Wild West. Join us as we peel back the layers of this mystery. Subscribe for the full story. Today, the forest looks peaceful. Endless trees, birdsong, wind moving through the branches. Nothing suggests that a massive military installation could be hiding below, but recent investigations have uncovered something strange. Using modern thermal imaging equipment, explorers have detected faint heat signatures rising from several ventilation shafts deep in the forest. Not strong, but consistent, almost like machinery operating far underground. Even more puzzling, new security infrastructure appeared near the area in 2026. Cameras, restricted access signs, fresh fencing along remote service roads, which raises a disturbing possibility. If the facility was truly abandoned decades ago, why does it still need protection? Maybe Project Fir Shade was nothing more than a Cold War rumor. Maybe the structures hidden beneath the forest were part of an abandoned research experiment. Or maybe, beneath the towering trees of Oregon, a forgotten underground base still exists, silent, hidden, and possibly waiting for the day it might be needed again. Because history has a strange way of hiding its most important secrets, sometimes in deserts, sometimes beneath mountains, and sometimes beneath forests where thousands of people walk every year without ever realizing what lies beneath their feet. America's landscape is filled with places like this, locations where history was written in secrecy and then quietly erased. But traces always remain, a strange map, a rusted door, a forgotten road deep in the wilderness. And sometimes, those clues lead to stories that challenge everything we thought we knew. If you enjoy exploring the hidden mysteries and forgotten places of America, make sure to subscribe. Because the next secret might be hiding closer than anyone expects.